Okay, hello. Let's see some of the new cool features that have been integrated into Ephestos. Let's start with this. This is actually, if you remember, a send message actually sends Python strings directly to Ephestos, and it's executed as Python statements. Now, of course, this is not a valid Python statement. And see what happens. Do it. Now, immediately you see that nothing happens. So Ephestos used to crash in the case of a Python syntax error. Now we don't have such a problem. Instead, what we have here is it sends us here the message with blah blah. Of course, it's not valid, and the error says invalid syntax with blah blah. So it says that this statement here, Python statement, I don't really understand. It's an invalid syntax. You have to fix it. And you, of course, you can. It won't stop Ephestos from functioning, which is great. And I want to improve this by sending the error back to Pharo and triggering the debugger, the Pharo debugger, which is going to be in the future. It will be great if you don't have to actually look the error here and the error pop-ups directly into Pharo. I think that should be fairly easy to do in a future version. So let's see what else have been added. Now, one of these cool things that have been added here, let's say instead to actually go directly to the parsec. Now, Damon sent me a very nice email that explained to me a way to parse Pharo syntax to Python syntax using a message not understood. So if you remember here, I have actually shown some examples in the previous tutorial. I have actually added examples. If you download the code, it's available in the examples sub-package of Ephestos. This one is the of readers here to us. This is exactly the way the Python string that actually changes the material. It uses BPI, data materials. It works very similar to objects. It uses a string to access a dictionary materials and access then, of course, inside the dictionary, the diffuse color property and pass a vector of red, green, and blue. Now, to do this, very similar to, let's see if I can resize this, to the Pharo syntax, I have chosen this kind of syntax here. I'm creating a keyword message. Everything, every single Python object that we use here, because everything is an object actually here, it's a Python object, is passed as a keyword argument, as a separate keyword argument, but it's a single message. So we have BPI nil, and the moment it says, the parser sees nil, it understands that it's actually just a Python object, so all it does is add the dot here, data nil again, and materials, we pass here the brackets that, and of course the double quotes, which shows that this is a Python string and this is an index of a dictionary. And diffuse color, we see here the equal sign, which says to Python that this is an assignment and it's going to assign this vector here. Everything that you see is passed as either a nil or as a string. And if we execute this, do it. Sorry about that, I have forgot to assign the material here. Yeah. So you can immediately see. Let me do this again to see it immediately. Yes, and do this again. Yes, and you see it changes the color of the material which is assigned, which is actually material here, which is the index, is actually the name of the material. And again, the same applies for objects. It's the same the name of the object that you can use as an index. But you actually can use also numeric indexes if you know the position of the material on on the list on the dictionary of materials. What else we can do? Oh yeah, of course, we can use globals. Now this is a nice, very cool feature because sometimes you don't really want to put all this. Actually, you can put this inside a global. Instead, in this case, I put the string material inside a global that I call mat. So I can actually do it. And I have also created another global here, mat blue, which is assigned the float value 1.0. Now, if I do this, which is very similar to this materials, I'm replacing the string here with mat, which is the global. So of course, it's going to replace it with a string material, which is the assigned value of a global mat. And then diffuse color, I have replaced inside the string the mat blue global, which is going to, of course, to send to assign the value 1.0. So if I do this, you see immediately it works. And actually, a very clever way to use Python globals because, of course, it's make you code in much shorter code. And what else? Oh yes, of course, operators. They didn't work in the previous video. I have fixed that. Now you can use operators. Here I'm using operator object delete. I can add it back, and I can position it back in its place. Now you may ask how you can find all this kind of stuff. Actually, it's very easy if you are familiar with the Blender user interface. It is if you go here, for example, add mesh, and you go to cube, it's going to tell you construct cube mesh, Python, and after Python is going to tell you exactly the Python command, which is actually a Blender operator, which you can use to perform the specific action. So everything you see here comes with the Python command, and that's a very cool way because there are many things on the user interface. For example, here you see again DPI Dutch materials type. We see everything on the graphical interface on Blender tells you exactly what kind of Python command you need to access this specific interface. For example, here I've used diffuse color, as explained later on, etc., etc., etc. So I'd like to thank Damian for helping me out with the parser and telling me about the message not understood. I would like, if anybody knows how to fix this, how to improve this, so I don't have to pass a nil. I'm going to create a collection of methods and classes to not have to do this a lot, so we can minimize this. And I'm going to take this code, all this code, and dump it to a different library that's called Atlas. And this library is going to be just for accessing Python libraries. You won't need to have Blender to do this. Already, Ephestos can access Python libraries from inside Blender, but of course it would be better to have a library that works just without Blender and access Python libraries. And I'm very interested in warping this way with via sockets the Python library by Qt, which is actually a wrapper for the Qt library, which is a great graphic user interface API. It's very, very powerful with designers, with OpenGL support, and I think that we can create some really impressive graphic user interfaces with Qt inside Faro using this method. So thank you for watching. There's much more to come and to improve with Ephestos, and see you in the next video.